I've been working on making this sturdy little box out of card weight paper, and it has a lid, and I can put cool little things in it. So I'm going to show you how to make it. It's made out of just two 8.5 by 11 sheets of cover weight paper, and there's a bunch of folding, but the folding isn't so hard to see if you sort of just look at the lines that it makes. So you fold a piece of paper in half and then in half again, so you've got quarters. Both sheets have that happening. If this is 8.5 by 11, which it is, they're 2 1/8 inches apart. So I want to make a line top and bottom that's 2 1/8 inch from the top and the bottom. So I've got these squares, top and bottom. Okay, so you do that for both pieces, and then a series of diagonal folds have to go in. If you look at these are all at the top, they're all forward slashes, except for this one, which is a backward slash, and then it's reflected. So these are all backward slashes, except for here, this is a forward slash. Okay, now, so there's all sorts of ways you can get these folds in, and one of them is to, after you've got the verticals and horizontals in, you can take a straight edge and some sort of scoring tool. There's my scoring tool, and create your scores. Okay, to make these long ones, you can just do folding. I like to use a scoring mat. For this, it's just nice. It makes a nicer folds, better folds. So since this is 8.5, at 4 1/4, I would do a score line, and then do the other ones where they should go. And then I said this is 2 1/8, so make the 2 1/8 here. So I like using a scoring mat. Okay, so I'm not going to actually make it out of these pieces of paper, just because these are two. Just show the map. That's the map. Okay, and before we start, just want to show you how cool this is, the way it can unfold. This is the Star Dream paper. I'm just going to take it apart. It really holds together well, but it's not so hard to take apart. And there it is. Okay, I'll put that back together later. So, I'm going to start with these papers, which, oh, I should also mention, on these greenish lines, they're all fold lines, but there are 6 cut lines just on the one piece of paper. You can see them. They're between the little squares. Okay, so I've got all my fold lines and cut lines in already, and the first thing I need to do is glue one to the other, because what's going to happen is, if I don't have this double layer, I will have a lot of single layer of papers that I don't want. I want this to be sturdier, and you'll see how this gets it to be sturdy in just the right way. So if all my lines are nicely done, I can do some gluing. Now I want to be careful about where I'm doing the gluing. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, the glue is going to be on this whole column. Okay, this whole column, and just the middle column, the middle part of the second column. Okay, so the glue goes here and here, and You'll see me do that. I get a piece of scrap paper to guard with. Protect my work area. And you can use whatever glue you want. You can use double-sided tape. I think this UHU, the clear UHU glue, works pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it. There we go. Okay. So this whole column and just part of that one. Okay, these. And I'll put this one on. So see, there's no slash lines on this overhanging part, just on the part that's getting glued down. Okay, no glue here under these little squares. So let's get that down really nicely. Okay. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold over the blue part, fold over these two columns. You have these slash lines that you're folding on, and the same thing over here. Now you have 3 thicknesses on this side, so it's going to feel a little bit different. So let's fold those down, and here they are. Okay. Now I'm going to, it happens all quite quickly. So now this folds over, comes up, and look, you already have a box that's almost done. Very cool. Okay, I'm going to just sharpen these edges. Boxes look so much better when there's sharp edges. There we go. So there's my box starting. Now I have this other piece that has a slash line in it. I'm going to fold on the slash line like so. Okay. Now this little piece, it'll come up and it gets tucked into this little pocket. See the little pocket? So he might not be able to see me putting it in. My hands might get in the way, but trust me, that's what I'm doing. I'm taking this little piece and putting it in the pocket. See how that goes. There we go. It's going in. Okay. Same thing on the other side. Take that little triangle and put it in the pocket. And you've got to fiddle with it a little. There we go. Went right in. Okay. Now look, we've got these little wings hanging out. Wings hanging out. Oh, nice to have wings hanging out. Okay, now there's a pocket for those too. See that going there? There it goes. And here this one goes. Okay, wow, look at that. It's already a box. Okay, so what's going to go on here? Well, I don't really like the fact that there's only a single layer of paper here. I want this to be sturdy. Ooh, but look, we have these little squares. And I'm just going to fold these in. I'm going to give these just a little bit of personality here. I'm just going to cut off. This is not necessary. I think it's helpful, actually. But I'm just going to cut off a little bit of triangle right there on both sides. Okay, and then these are going to get glued down and give a little extra bulk to the lid. Okay, so get my glue stick again. Get that pressed down really nicely. thing on the other side. Being careful. I know I've got glue up here, so I'm being careful not to get glue where I don't want it. Now this is a good time to just take this piece of paper and get rid of it. Fold this over, and there, I've got my lid. Get that a little bit better. Okay, now I've got these two little flaps, and you know what? I want to do the same thing. I like the fact that it gives it a little bit more bulk. There's a couple of different things you can do with this, and you just sort of have to decide. Like on this one, what I did is I cut off these edges, and then cut off these edges, and then folded up part of it so that I could have this kind of closure. You can see there's a little bit here too that's folded up, and that's what it looks like. And then I have to put the tab in the right place. But the other thing that I could do is just put these in, and then my closure is just sliding it inside the box. That works. Might be a little tight in there. Another thing you can do is, like if you want to use magnets or something, just hide the magnets maybe right there, or don't hide them. You could also hide them in here. There's another flap in here. So all the magnets could be hidden, except there'll be a little lump, and that's a closure. But the thing is now you've got your box, you've got some of your own decisions to make. Okay? Now, that's the whole demonstration. I'm going to refold this one, so if you want to see that happening again, here it goes. So I have, in this case, I already have my pieces of paper, my second piece of paper glued down, right? Not including these. And I start off by folding this little rooftop. Okay. Folding that back, bringing it up, taking these little pieces, sliding them in, sliding them in. Same thing with these on the outside, you slide them into the little pocket. Slide this into the little pocket. This one didn't feel like it went in right. There we go. There we go. And there's my little box. And this one just closes by pushing it in. Okay, so have fun, make boxes.